so what was the beef of that era, right? You know what I mean. So you became a blood because you know there was a Crip that tried to punk you, right? I mean, is that more or less the story?
Yeah, basically it was a Crip that bullied me.
Right.
Because I was a little boy going to the store and then he bullied me.
Yeah.
You know, and as me walking to the store for my mother, I was like, man.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Yeah. What the hell? This is.
Right. and so your boys was already like, becoming bloods, right?
Well, no, because they wasn't becoming bloods, but majority of all the dudes who became bloods, I grew up with.
Okay. Right.
So even though we all basically grew up together,
right.
and then we all basically started becoming bloods together.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
And so what became the activity, right? Before the seriousness of the beef came, right? Before there was really, guns going off and you know what I mean?
Well, initially it was mainly just, people would, you would see an rival gang member and then you see them and then y'all get down, know, y'all fight.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was just a lot of fighting.
Okay.
Back then, the guns start coming, I would say maybe in the early 80s.
Okay.
Because when we started seeing gunplay, right, we just getting in the game. We didn't really have guns. I used to carry a big old machete around with me. That was my weapon.
Wow. Yeah, back then it was, the chains and bats and,
Right.
Yeah, I was watching the Warriors. And I know that's some East Coast shit, but I mean,
right.
that was that street shit.
Yeah, that's
you know
what
I
it
mean?
was. That's what it was back then too, when we was coming up. Brass knuckles, all that we used to have.
So what was going on in Pasadena? Let's call it the early 80s, right? You say when you were 12, what year was that?
So that was about, I have to think back.
Okay, yeah. Well, we could just call it early 80s. What was going on in Pasadena that kind of created that environment, right, for gangs?
Well, the thing about Pasadena, it was always a city of hustlers.
Interesting.
And so because it was a city of hustlers, it was a city of hustlers and gangsters.
Right.
And they were selling. They were selling sherm. They were selling powder. It wasn't crack back then. They were selling weed. They were hustlers.
Yeah.
And a lot of that was going on in Pasadena. So it kind of fueled this element of this culture of gangs. But keeping in mind that there was already gangs here.
Yeah.
Right. It was the West Side Crips was already here, and the Alley Cats was here. Right. So they were already here doing their thing, and I'm pretty sure they probably migrated from L.A.
Right.
To Pasadena.